The night was filled with shadows, and the moon hung low, casting an eerie glow over the quiet town of Willowbrook. Sarah lay in her bed, tossing and turning, her dreams plagued by a terrifying scene from a nightmare. In her dream, she had been standing in a desolate forest, surrounded by gnarled trees with branches that reached out like skeletal fingers. The wind whispered with a sinister tone, and the air was thick with an unsettling presence. In the dream, she had heard a voice, a haunting, guttural voice that promised doom. Sarah woke up in a cold sweat, her heart pounding like a drum. It was just a dream, she told herself, trying to calm her racing thoughts. She glanced at the clock, and it read 3:33 a.m., the witching hour. She shivered, pulling the covers tightly around her, as if they could shield her from the horrors of her own mind. Morning came, and the sun's feeble rays struggled to penetrate the gloom that seemed to hang over Willowbrook. Sarah tried to shake off the remnants of her nightmare as she got ready for school. She put on her uniform, ate her breakfast, and headed out the door. The town felt different, as if the very air was tainted with a sense of foreboding. As Sarah walked to school, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The sky was overcast, and the trees that lined the street seemed to reach out, their branches clawing at the grey clouds. A chill crept down her spine, and she quickened her pace, desperate to escape the eerie atmosphere. At school, things took an even stranger turn. Her classmates were acting peculiar, whispering in hushed tones and casting furtive glances her way. Sarah tried to ignore it, chalking it up to teenage drama, but she couldn't shake the sense of dread that was gnawing at her insides. During the lunch break, Sarah's best friend Emily approached her with a grave expression. "Sarah, I had the same nightmare you did," Emily confessed, her voice trembling. "The forest, the voice, everything." Sarah's heart sank as she realized that her nightmare was not an isolated incident. She took a deep breath and decided to confide in Emily about the bizarre happening since she had woken up. Emily's eyes widened with fear as she listened, and together they started piecing together the strange occurrences that had plagued Willowbrook since the previous night. The two friends decided to investigate the forest from their nightmares. As they entered the desolate woods, the ominous silence enveloped them. The trees loomed overhead like ancient sentinels, their branches casting eerie, shifting shadows. The air was thick with the same unsettling presence that had haunted Sarah's dreams. They ventured deeper into the forest, guided only by the memory of their nightmares. The further they went, the more the forest seemed to twist and change, as if mocking their attempts to escape. Panic set in, but they couldn't turn back. Suddenly, they heard it, the same guttural voice from their nightmares. It echoed through the trees, chilling them to the bone. "Welcome, my dears," it hissed. "You've walked right into my domain." The voice seemed to be coming from a gnarled, ancient tree ahead. Sarah and Emily approached it with trepidation. As they got closer, the tree's twisted branches reached out and grabbed them, ensnaring them in a nightmarish embrace. They struggled, but the more they fought, the tighter the tree's grip became. The forest around them seemed to come alive, with trees groaning and roots snaking their way towards the trapped girls. Sarah and Emily were helpless, caught in the clutches of a malevolent force. The voice from the nightmare laughed cruelly. "Dreams have a way of becoming reality in Willowbrook, my dears, and in this cursed forest, nightmares come true." As the forest closed in around them, Sarah and Emily realized that their worst fears had materialized. Their once harmless nightmares had become a living, breathing nightmare of their own. They were trapped in a world of darkness and terror, with no way to escape. And so, the nightmare that had haunted Sarah and Emily became a horrifying reality, and the once quiet town of Willowbrook was forever tainted by the sinister force that lurked within its depths.